made fantastic friends in our chapter and what we plan to do for the future. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Wakeman in Student Development. He is wonderful and he helped put this event together, so a big thank you to Mr. Wakeman, wherever he is. Where are you? Thank you. And also another big thanks to Lauren Duffy, who is Sarah's sister, who works in Student Development. She is incredible and she really guides us through a lot of things, and she's amazing. And we also share a birthday too, which is pretty cool. So thank you, Lauren. She's great as well. All right, so we're going to get started. If you can hit the slide, or I can do it actually. Okay. Alright. So, yeah. Alright, so what is Fantastic Friends? Before I even explain to you guys what Fantastic Friends is, I have an inspiration behind it, and that's my twin Matthew. And he is amazing, and he is the one that drove me to start Fantastic Friends. So this is me and Matthew, he's my twin, and Matthew's sitting in the audience. He's right over here. So everyone, if you guys could clap for Matthew. So thank you to Matthew. So what is Fantastic Friends? For all of you that don't know what Fantastic Friends is, we are a social group for tweens, teens, and young adults with special needs. And what we do is every month we have one social event for our members who have special needs and our volunteers who come to mentor our members at events. So we'll do fun things once a month. We've gone bowling, we've gone to the aquarium, we'll do different fun themed events. Our next event is next Sunday, and it's at the pop shop, and it's a pajama party. We're all going to eat brunch. So we do really fun things once a month, and it's really a great way for our members to socialize and meet new people and, get out in the community. But we also are expanding our mission of Fantastic Friends. Over the past 2 years, we've been working to start spreading chapters across our region. So I also recently just started a sibling support group, which is a group for siblings of those who have special needs to network with each other and meet other siblings so they can feel like they have a place to just breathe and, have people that understand how they feel, because special needs doesn't just affect the families, special needs doesn't just affect the person that has it, it affects the entire family. So this is a nice place for siblings to come as well and meet other siblings. And the top picture, that's me and Antigone. She is a 7th grader, and I'm training her how to run the group while I'm here at Stockton, and I've been going back and forth about trying to teach her how to lead the group. She's also a sibling, so she's great, and we do events once a month for our sibling group as well, so we're happy to have this started. And our most recent group we just started is actually our chapter here at Stockton, and we're a little different from the sibling group and the normal Fantastic Friends group where we have the monthly events, because here at Stockton, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create awareness and educate college students and local community about different types of special needs and how we can create a more inclusive environment and how we can, bring people together and really educate people, because it's not just, there's not just one type of special need. There's a whole bunch. So we're trying to make our Stockton students more educated and more aware of different types of special needs. And, we're trying to educate all of the health science majors on, different things that they can look for, when they go into the workforce with therapy or, any type of professional help. We're trying to really educate them and make them more well-rounded in that way so they can, know more knowledge. So that's our Stockton chapter, and that's what we're aiming to do. So I really have this goal of spreading advocacy chapters and regular Fantastic Friend group chapters and sibling group chapters all over the world, because I've seen how it directly impacts everybody, and it's amazing. It's so incredible, and everyone that comes to our events, whether you're a member or whether you're a volunteer, everyone has the same feeling of being part of a family. That's what's special about Fantastic Friends. When you come to our events, you feel like you're a part of a huge family. You feel like you are so loved and everybody welcomes you and you feel so accepted. So, this is my goal, and I'm definitely going to keep going because I see how it impacts people, and, everyone here that's involved in the program sees it as well. So, this is something we definitely would like to do and, work towards. So our goals from our perspective for our conference today, we really want you guys to listen to our speakers and, try to put yourself in their shoes, because, we're trying to show you all how it's important as a self-advocate to let yourself be heard. A lot of times, parents and, therapists, they don't necessarily always listen to the child or the person that has special needs. They, can sometimes make assumptions or, tell the person that they know what's best for them, but our goal is for you to really listen to the person, like the self-advocate, because they're the ones that know best. And another goal we have is to really find the connections between all the speakers. Everybody has a story, and between everybody's story here, there's commonalities. There's different things that each story has in common. So try to find the commonalities, and if you're a parent or you work with someone with special needs, try to see the commonalities between your personal life and our speakers. And when we have our group discussion, we will discuss different ways we can make the community more better and more inclusive for our special needs population. So that's what we really want you to take away from our conference today. So with that, this is just a video of Fantastic Friends. For those of you who have not seen it, this is from our prom. We have a prom every year at the end of the year, and we had over 200 participants. And this is just a video that's going to show you how many people we actually impact and how many people we would like to impact for the future. So here's a video from our prom. Our prom is Candyland themed, and we'll talk about that at the end. But with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for today. His name is Arthur Aston, and he is also a former Stockton student, and he is the founder of Our View, and we will share his story. So let's give Arthur a warm welcome below.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Marissa stated, my name is Arthur Aston, and I am a graduate of Stockton. I graduated in 2004, many years ago. But it's great to be back here. I posted a picture on my Facebook page and said it feels like home. So thank you all for having me today. I was born in 1981 with a birth defect known as spina bifida. I had a hole in the lower part of my back, and it affected my leg muscles, so I do wear braces, and I am able to walk with braces. My chair is just more comfortable, and with the snow and stuff on the ground, it's easier and safer for me to get around, so that's why I'm in my chair today. But back in 1981, my parents did not know I had spina bifida until I was born. Now they're able to see the child has spina bifida through 3D ultrasounds. So, and they're also able to close the hole in the back before the child is born through surgery, and they do that at Children's Hospital right in Philadelphia. But at that time, they didn't have that technology, so my parents were unaware of my disability until I was born. At that time, I was also, they were told not to expect me to live past the age of 15. So I turned 33 last November.
All right.
So that is me there, many years ago. In addition to not expected to live past the age of 15, my parents were told that I would have multiple learning disabilities and I would not be able to learn as a child without disabilities. But I graduated from Stockton in 2004, as I mentioned, with a bachelor's degree in psychology. I have a master's degree from Monmouth University in psychological counseling, and I just have my dissertation, my comprehensive exam and dissertation to complete, and I will have a PhD in advanced studies of human behavior from Capella University. So I'm really happy to see that all of this is going on here at Stockton now, and I'm glad that you all have turned out today. And I just wanted to share one more thing with you. As Marissa stated, I did found a organization called Our View, which is a disability awareness program where I go to schools and speak about inclusion and also ways that the community and the schools themselves can make things better for people with disabilities. Primarily, I focus on accessibility issues because that is my disability, but I have been invited to schools to speak on determination from English classes where they read a story about characters who use determination to reach their goals. And I've also been invited to schools to talk about how my disability affected my body systems for their science day. I'm going to a school in Cherry Hill next month to speak about that. So this program, I've also done groups for businesses such as malls and movie theaters to help them improve their accessibility features, because a lot of times places are still inaccessible to people with disabilities in many ways, not just for ramps and features like that, but for those who are hearing impaired or visually impaired as well. And as if that's not enough, I also work as the executive director of Build Jake's Place. And Build Jake's Place is a nonprofit organization out of Pennsauken, New Jersey, that builds accessible play spaces for people with disabilities. We have one playground in Cherry Hill. If you're familiar with that area, it's near the Coastline Restaurant off of Brace Road. We're also fundraising now to build a second playground in Burlington County in Delran. So working with them, we also operate a Miracle League. Down here, it's the Field of Dreams that is really big in Absecon. They're great people. We work with them, and we're starting our second year of baseball with the Miracle League in Cherry Hill on April 18th. So that's a league open to anyone over the age of 5 who has any type of disability, children and adults. They're matched with a buddy and they play baseball. We're out for about 2 hours. And we start April 18th and we will be playing until June 6th. So if you're in the area of Cherry Hill on a Saturday morning, please feel free to stop by and join us. So thank you all for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Arthur. That was amazing. Wow, that was really, really great. All right, so our next speaker is Tyler Schloendorn. Did I pronounce that right? Schloendorn?
Close enough.
Okay. Tyler is a sophomore at Lenape High School and also volunteers for Fantastic Friends. So everybody, let's give him a warm welcome.
Sorry about that. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Tyler, and I do have autism. I didn't always know I had autism, though. I didn't find out until I was 9 years old. My parents didn't want me to feel like I was being treated different from everyone else, and they want me to grow up feeling like I had a handicap. They want me to grow up like a normal kid from any other place or home. When I was in elementary school, I got picked on a lot, bullied a lot. They didn't like the way I walked or talked or pretty much how I acted in general. They didn't really pick me for sports teams a lot, and if they did, I would always be picked last. They would just beat me up because I seemed weak and not nice stuff to me, just to keep it family friendly. I also obsessed over a lot of weird things when I was a kid. Like I knew a lot about Abraham Lincoln. I loved like heavy metal and a lot of hard rock like Kiss. I also know, and I still obsess over these things to this very day. So they kind of vary a lot, and I added more stuff that I wasn't before. So just cinematography. Other historical figures, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it. And all other kinds of music. Me and my family began volunteering when I was in the 2nd grade. And a couple years after we started volunteering, I began to notice something was different to the kids that showed up at these events compared to the ones at school. I also began to notice after a couple years that I was more like the kids that show up to these events than any that were at my school. that I've known for some odd years. So after one event, I asked my parents if there was anything wrong with me, and they decided. There was finally a time I knew that I was autistic. And after hearing that news, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, whee! I was finally able to know who I really was, and I could finally not be afraid to act how I was because I know there wasn't anything wrong with me. But unfortunately for me, my fourth grade class at the time did not know that. So I decided to try and change that. So I went to a couple ladies at the Autism Speaks charity, and I asked them if they could come to my school and help me educate my peers about autism. They did agree, and after getting a date set, they came over and they brought a lot of stuff with them. One of the things they brought was this book called the Autism Acceptance Book. In this book, we began reading. The students started to notice that I was a lot like the people they described in this book, and so after we were done reading, I finally told them that I was autistic. And after that, they started to stop teasing me. They started picking me not last anymore for sports teams, and whenever someone else from a different class started to pick on me, they would start to stand up for me. Unfortunately, after my fourth grade year, I had to move, and so I didn't feel too bad because I know that I could find friends. I just had to kind of educate them about what wasn't really wrong with me. Eventually, a couple years it took, but eventually, I did find a good friend who's actually here today. And because of him, I kind of had someone to talk to about all the stuff I had trouble with growing up, and he could tell me his stories, and I finally felt like I found someone who's pretty much almost exactly a mirror image of me, and someone I could finally relate to. And eventually we did become good friends, but he didn't get a choice, so I was in all of his classes. It was also nice to have someone to talk to at once that doesn't worry about their suits or hair. During my final year, during 8th grade, which is when I met my friend, I met Marissa and the Fantastic Friends community. I was actually happy to meet her and all the other people there because I could finally help people that were like me or had other disabilities, and I wouldn't have to be worried about being judged for how I acted or walked or talked or anything like that. And so before I move on, I would like to thank Marissa for starting this lovely organization. For those of you who don't really know me, I am, like Marissa said, a sophomore in high school, and I am 16 years old. And kids my age still don't know a whole lot about people that have autism, and that's actually pretty depressing to me and anyone like me because they're being picked on or and even more bullied because of how they act, and that's not really their fault. So I think it's pretty justifiable that elementary schools could maybe start teaching these kids more about autistic people at a younger age, so that way they can even grow up and become friends with these people. And this Autism Acceptance Book is a great tool for that. And high school students can use it too, because they could learn a matter or two from these kind of books. Yeah, I hear that, Gigi. There are actually a lot of things that the high school and communities could do to help people like me. One, they can make private areas that's not open to the public, so that way people that need to take a break and go to get relaxed, get their minds set together, and then they can go back out. The other thing they can do, they can sell or rent earbuds and sunglasses to people who have sensitive hearing and or sensitive lighting. I forget what it's called. Another thing they can do, you can host small events and maybe small group therapies that educate about autism, and even do support groups like Marissa has done for the siblings or family members so that way they can talk about it and learn how to like cope with their siblings. As I have learned in my 4th grade classes, learned from the Autism Acceptance book, you do not know a person until you have walked a mile in their shoes. And if you see a kid who's withdrawn or unlike anyone else, maybe go up and say hi to them and try and get to know them, because who knows? Maybe they'll turn out that they're like me who has autism, or maybe there's something else wrong with them. And they could really use a friend. Yeah, like I said before, I am autistic, but autism is not who I am, okay? My first name is an autism, my middle name is an autism, my last name is an autism. Autism, it can really change your life to have someone in your life who has autism. I mean, even though you have autism, it doesn't mean you don't have feelings. It doesn't mean you can't be like anyone else. And autism is who I am, what made me who I am today. And that, I must say, is pretty cool guy.
Thank you, Tyler. And that was another amazing presentation. That was wonderful. All right, so now I'm going to welcome Gabe Costa.
Oh gosh.
Is a freshman at Rowan, and she's pursuing a dual major in early childhood education and literacy studies. And she's also a dedicated Fantastic Friends volunteer and speaker, and committee member for our prom. So everybody give Gabe a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. As Marcia said, my name is Gabe. Where do I start? I kind of always knew that I was a little different. You know, I kind of could always tell that I wasn't like other kids in my school. I liked being by myself more, and you know, when I did hang out with people, it was more just like, oh, okay, you're there, hi. But you know, but I never really thought much of it. I never really thought much of being different because it was who I was, and I never knew anything else. So I was like, all right, I'm different. That's okay. Growing up, I did, in elementary school at least, I think I had a decent amount of friends. No one really bullied me. But elementary school, I think, was kind of where the isolation sort of started. I think I acted a little weirdly and different, and that kind of put people off. And sometimes, like in elementary school, the way it was set up was that you would sit with your class. So, like, if I didn't have a friend in my class, then I would probably be sitting all by myself at lunch, which, again, I didn't mind because it gave me time to myself. But you know, it kind of made me feel a little lonely too, because I always wished that I could make new friends. I didn't really find out about my disability until I was about 12 years old, I believe. I found out both that I had Asperger's disorder and epilepsy when I was about 12 years old. And it was really funny too, because I knew that I would have seizures when I was little, but I didn't know that there was a name for it. So if I ever met a new person, I would go up to them, I'd be like, hi, my name's Gabe, and I have seizures. And they would just look at me like I was crazy. But when I was 12 years old, that's when I found out that I had both Asperger's disorder and epilepsy. I still didn't know much about it then, but at least there was a name for it. And for some reason, I did not even know how to say epilepsy at the time. So whenever my mom would say it, I just would picture it. I don't know what I was even thinking. Middle school was when it started getting a little harder for me. In middle school, I started getting bullied a little bit by just other people who didn't understand me. And I did the worst thing that you could do with a bully. I would shoot right back at them. Like, someone used to call me, there were these two boys in 6th grade who used to call me a blue-eyed monster, and I used to shoot insults back at them, which is the worst thing you can do with bullying, but, you know. 6th, 7th grade, I was bullied all throughout. It made me feel bad because, you know, they didn't understand. I mean, yeah, like I said, I would fire back at times, and then you'd get to this back and forth sort of thing, but, you know, it made me feel bad because all I really wanted was a friend. And I had friends, don't get me wrong. I met Marissa in middle school. I think we met in 8th grade, if I'm right?
I think it was 6th grade, actually.
6th grade? We met in middle school, and middle school was also a very fun time. High school was when it started. High school, no bullying really, but it kind of went back to the isolation a little bit. I still had friends, but, you know, it just still kind of, people didn't really want to come and talk to me at all. They didn't really want to get to know me at all. I would sit by myself in the class if I didn't have a friend, and part of Asperger's disorder is I don't have the social skills really to know how to approach a person and say like, hi, my name is Gabe. Do you like this or do you like that? Or like, I would have these scenarios that play through my head like, oh my gosh, if I say this, what if they yell at me? Or what if they... Those thoughts would just run through my head all the time, and then that would just leave me sitting alone in a chair because I didn't want to get involved in that kind of thing at all. I didn't want to get yelled at. I didn't want to get laughed at. I didn't want people to make fun of me. So I was just like, if I just avoid the situation altogether, maybe that won't happen. But leaving high school, coming into college, I'm definitely growing a lot in that sense. In college, just in my freshman year of college alone, I've learned to put myself out there more. I was able to go door to door asking for petition signatures for a club, which was one of the most amazing things that I ever thought I could do. I sat there. While I was doing it at one point, I was like, if I had tried to do this 2 years ago, I would never have done it. I would have sat there and froze up and been like, but I would have never been able to do that. And also, you know, looking back at my accomplishments in life, I also think, you know, I would have never been able to do those things when I was little. One of my biggest accomplishments in life is in October of 2010, I earned my black belt in Taekwondo. It was a 12-hour black belt test. We were there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's 12 hours. It was insane. I had to do 200 sit-ups, 100 push-ups. I had to run. I had to do all this and that. But I loved it. And, you know, a year later, I earned my first degree black belt. And, you know, I sit there and I'm like, I would have never been able to do this stuff. And, you know, there's a lot that I can attribute it to like how I've grown as a person, you know. The biggest contributor I could ever have, though, well, I thought I had a picture, but I guess I don't, is my family. My family has been so incredibly supportive. My mom, my brother, my aunts and uncles, they've just been there with me every step of the way. And, you know, as much as we fight and as much as I'll say to them, you know, I hate you, or I wish I would, no, they helped me out so much. And, you know, knowing that they have my back at any time is one of the greatest things. Another thing I could definitely attribute is fantastic friends. You know, I'll be honest, Marissa, I believe, Skyped me back in my sophomore year of high school, and she was like, hey, I have this idea for a group that I want to start. And she wanted me to meet, and I will be dead honest, I just sat there thinking, oh, this isn't gonna work. And 4 years later, I have been proven dead wrong, because it has taken off in ways that I could have never imagined. And being in Fantastic Friends has helped me to learn how to be a little more compassionate towards others and a little more empathetic, because that's another thing with Asperger's is sometimes they just don't understand empathy. But, you know, and also just working with Marissa has been absolutely amazing, and seeing this group grow has been absolutely amazing. And I am so proud to be a part of it. You know, I hope in the future to work with both, to work in an inclusion classroom maybe. That would be an ultimate thing for me. And I have like all these plans, like I really want to learn sign language, and I'm going to take special education classes, and I'm going to learn how to work with special needs kids, and that's something that being in Fantastic Friends has helped me realize what I want to do. And it's also helped me come out of my shell so much. Because, as Tyler said, my Asperger's is not who I am. I'm not sitting there, I'm not going to sit there, I'm never going to let my Asperger's be an excuse. I'm never going to sit there and say, I have Asperger's, so I can't do this. I'm going to say, let's give it a try. Let's try. If I can't do it, then I can say I've tried. But my Asperger's is never, ever going to define me. It's never going to be who I am. I'm always going to be Gabe. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe. That was another amazing, fantastic story. All right, so next, I'm going to welcome Kayla. And Kayla is the New Jersey Miss Amazing Junior Teen of 2014 and 2015, and she's a Fantastic Friends member. So everybody, give Kayla a warm welcome.
I'm also a freshman. Hi everyone, I'm Kayla. I have been on my journey now for 15 years. I'm currently diagnosed with Asperger's, anxiety, and other medical issues, many of them. I started getting really sick at 4 months old. I was in and out of the hospital at least 2 or 3 times a week. My mom told me that I had about 10 seizures a day growing up. By the age of 3 years old, I had my first open heart surgery, had a pacemaker put in. My pacemaker turned 12 years on February 27th. Cardiologist had done research with another doctor in Colorado, a similar case as mine. I do not have heart problems, but the pacemaker was put in to help with seizures, developmental delays. Before the pacemaker was on a sleep monitor, so I did not stop breathing in my sleep. The first few years of my medical journey, I had up to 17 different specialists at one time. I used to go to DuPont Hospital and love it there, especially my overnight stays at a Ramadan house. The RMH house became my home away from home. Specialists could not fully diagnose me with my seizures or medical issues. Even genetically diagnosed doctors could not fully give me a medical diagnosis. They just treated symptoms that came along as my blackout spells now have. We've often joked that I'm a medical mystery like my autism, that I'm a missing piece to the puzzle. At the age of 8 years old, I was finally diagnosed with Asperger's. It was very hard for doctors to diagnose me because of all my medical problems. My specialist could not tell if I was going backwards in developmental due to the seizures or if it was something else. To this day, they still have a hard time with diagnosis of medical issues. I started with an early intervention from speech and OT. When I turned 3 years old, I started a disabled preschool program at our local elementary school. Once I got to this school, the teachers and staff realized that based on my actions, etc., I had autism. My developmental school pediatrician finally agreed. I have been in and out of public school and specialized schools over the years, as it has been hard to find a school or program that meet all my needs. I have also been in mainstream self-contained and inclusion classes. I finally started at Highland High School in Blackwood. I'm in 9th grade and love all they have to offer students like me. For me, school would be a real challenge because of the hallways and around my peers, especially in large groups. Being a high-functioning kid with autism or Asperger's, you come off as a weird, crazy kid. So it's hard to be accepted or understood like many with Asperger's or other high-functioning disabilities. It's also hard and difficult to make friends with speak up about what is bothering us, or feel comfortable in large classrooms. We become an easy target for bullying and often are left out. I think in school, teachers and staff should be more understanding of the special education students. Special needs students have a real hard time in school, especially the low functioning or those who are unable to speak and cannot tell you what is going on. Teachers, staff, and parents can help us in our schools by educating our students on the disabilities of our students. To understand that each kid is different and has different needs or supports, and make them feel safe within the school. Some things that can be done is buddy programs, school-wide awareness programs, or sport groups. Be the one person to make a change in your school. By being their friend and take extra time to help, remember that your having a disability is not always visible. It can be learning, mental health, medical, and even physical. We do not each know each person's journey, so everyone should be accepted and included. Everyone in school is unique and has different needs and supports. Some have OT or PT, others may have a behavioral system or a one-on-one aid. Some even have strict routines, habits, and sessions or coping skills that may appear different to others. This, along with us being in a self-contained classroom, shows others just how different we are, and that makes us a target of bullying. For me, I have a speech problem, cannot do math, and have a hard time with anxiety. I have a stress ball or IEP or ability to listen to my music. Who has problems in class or is not like everyone else? We all can say yes to both. I have trouble in math and am slow in processing. It takes me longer to answer questions, and when the answer comes to mind, I stutter because I'm still processing the answer. Not only that, but at times I shout weird things, I have nervous twitches, or do weird things with my hands. Many times you'll hear me recite television shows or even music lines. I love the old-time shows like Sanford and Son and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The music I like most is like old school, like the Supremes, Temptations, and Michael Jackson. Huge Michael Jackson fan, my whole room's going right here. It took me a long time and it's still a struggle to remember these. Are just shows or music and not reality. Often I get yelled at for these things. The teachers do not take the time to understand I have an IEP that tell us about some of these habits and my coping techniques. But when a teacher does not set or learn to understand, then students don't either most of the time. The question to you is, how would you feel if your child, brother, sister, or friend, better yet, what if it was you being bullied, not included or unable to participate because of lack of accessibility? How would you feel being told you could not be around your peers but told you were weird because you have to have a device to talk to for some special combinations so you can learn? These kids are walking targets, and everyone wants a hit, so to speak. Even teachers at times, hey, I'm high functioning go through this every day because of that. That said, I'm considered a weird kid. Bullying for me has been a problem for many years, not only by peers, but also by adults, including teachers. After my dad left a few years ago, I really started to deal with all the bullying I dealt with for years. This caused me to have a nervous breakdown in the summer of 2013 and ended up at the County Hospital for a week due to suicidal thoughts and violent outbursts. 2 months ago, I was signed bullied by a former classmate about my weight and was told that I also walked funny. It was very dehumanizing. I deleted all the messages so it could not be reported, which I should have not done, but could not stand to see the messages on my phone, as they brought back negative feelings. This incident led me to cut my arms for the second time. I will now have to walk around with scars on my arms for the rest of my life because of my stupid decision to let me get to them. This is all too common for many with special needs who struggle with daily life, not just in school, but in the community as well. For me, I have learned from this experience to not let people get to me because I am better and a stronger person. Within the community, there is a need for townships to offer more opportunities to events, sports, programs, and awareness. Not only do parents have to be educated, but the youth as well. In the community, bullying takes level more often. I was bullied in the community by adults who in turn encouraged their children to bully. It led me to have a diagnosis of rumination. It's where my anxiety just getting out of the front door can make me vomit. The best business can make the facilities more accessible. I know that there are requirements for ramps and aisles, but there are other ways as well. I remember going to the crowd and there was a guy in a wheelchair who all he wanted to do was get some food. Due to the amount of people, no one showed him any compassion or assistance, not even the staff. After a short time, my mom and I went to complain to the manager. They finally assisted him so he was able to eat. But this demonstrates how people treat those with special needs and is not fair. Often community events are loud, crowded, and not easily accessible for many. There needs to be taken into consideration to make accommodations. Often some of their concerts or movies, events are allowed. Again, 90% sensory shows are great times to make community aware. We are just given a diagnosis and often comes along at different times in life. We do not answer to disability and this is our challenge for the rest of our lives. We just want to be included and accepted. One of the many good things that have happened to me in my life was my involvement with a pageant called Miss Amazing. This is a great example of community inclusion. This is a nonprofit pageant for young ladies with any type of disability from the age of 5 and up. Miss Amazing believes that all people should be given the opportunity to reach their full potential. This hope is that the state, national, and other Miss Amazing events give girls and women with disabilities the opportunity and atmosphere built around encouragement and support. The belief is that Miss Amazing can bring the community together and encourage for inclusion for individuals with special needs. The Miss Amazing pageant is different from any other pageant because participants have the opportunity to get back to the community just simply by entering the pageant. To enter, it only takes 5 food cans, 5 canned goods, which the 6th Division queens take to a local shelter or food pantry to donate. The future of the organization not only allows the participants to become active members of the community, but also ensures that the girls participate do not become a financial burden. During the pageant, each girl is paired with a buddy, which helps bring more inclusion awareness, and often these females' buddies may not have worked with other individuals one-to-one with disability. Miss Amazing pageant offers girls with disabilities the opportunity to become community leaders and change makers. I won in New Jersey Miss Amazing preteen division in 2013 and in 2014. I won in 2013. I have had a wonderful experience volunteering at community events, learning the skills to fundraise and public speaking. I also have learned how to be a girl because I'm a tomboy. Right now I want to get out of dress and roll I will put a dress on but no makeup. Yeah, that's gonna be a flight soon right here. I got the flight for the first time in Nebraska for a national pageant. That was also a difficult journey because of my anxiety and social issues. On the way home in Dallas, we had to change planes. I also learned what it's like to do a split on an escalator. Like in the movie Elf, which I did and never dropped any more lunch, and I calmed myself and sat down the rest of the way to the bottom of the escalator. And even afterwards, when my family got caught on the bottom, this girl now stays away from those escalators. I have learned what wearing a crown is really about and what hard work can do. A crown is not just about beauty, but personality, and giving back to the community. Miss Amazing hopes to inspire those queens and princesses to use their community service projects, to bring out the talents and give back in their own way. Another great community group is that I belong to is Camden County Youth Partnership. I am the social media representative on the youth board. This group is for teens with mental disabilities, though many also have other diagnoses or disabilities. With this group, we are all treated equally, and at no time can anyone be ignored or alone. Our youth coaches ensure we get into the community and do a lot of service projects and bring awareness. In addition, we attend our youth events and workshops on social skills. Youth Partnership has also allowed me to take the leadership roles and attend leadership workshops. I also was able to go to Washington, D.C. along with a few other memberships and attend a national conference. The adult chaperones were very supportive of each of our unique needs. We traveled by train to the hotel in Washington, D.C., which was a nurse who was coping with a high level of anxiety. This is a youth-driven group, and I'm going to have the pleasure of running a meeting next month on autism awareness and acceptance, since it's light up blue. Now I have my ups and downs in life like everyone has. I think my journey is that it's supposed to help me make a better person. Because of my journey, I've become a strong advocate and want to advocate for others with disabilities. I attend lots of conferences to learn about my rights and laws that protect me with my special needs. I am very educated and want to educate people on what their rights are, and what is it like to fight and never give up on themselves when the going gets tough. I know what it's like to fall and get back up, and they can too. I'm a fighter and always will be. I now do my own IP and make sure that my voice is heard. I mean, how can you hear me? I'm loud. I'm hoping to write a book in the future about my journey and help parents and youth with their journey. I want to inspire others. I think that with my more awareness and inspiration, we can become more accepting of those with disabilities and inclusive of them too, in all aspects of the society. In every life, we have all various challenges. These challenges can include learning, mental health, etc. Some have more than one challenge. Everyone should be treated equally and included. Those who appear or talk differently are the ones who need more understanding and support. Everyone, including those with disabilities, have feelings and dreams. We all have abilities. We may just have a different way of doing or accomplishing things. Inclusion is important at every stage of life. If the student of life is instilled about. Remember, every day is a journey, and with every step you take, it makes you a stronger person. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. That was amazing. All of our speakers so far are just doing such an amazing job. They're all incredible and they're all so inspiring. All right, so next I'd like to welcome a good friend, Mitch, up. He has been with Fantastic Friends from the beginning, and he's a great friend of mine. So everybody give him a round.
All right. Let's give them a round of applause. They were doing good. Everyone was good. All right. As Mitch said, my name is Mitch. I'm 20 years old and I live in New Jersey. And what I have is called FD, which is short for familial dysautonomia. The symptoms for FD include eye drop, the inability to make tears, so that's why I have to give myself eye drops frequently, especially in the winter months because it's all dry and stuff that's really bad for my vision. And people actually ask me if I'm crying because of how much drops I get. But I just show them and like, nope, I dropped.
I got this.
Now, another symptom is fluctuating blood pressures. So, for example, when I stand up, it goes down. When I lay down flat, it goes up. Like, it can go sky high, like 250 or 120 or something.
Wow.
Like that, you can't really measure it. And who doesn't? Everyone needs to drink water, especially me. I have to get more fluids than the average person, liters a day, and I actually have a G-tube located in my stomach, so that's how I get liters of fluids, so thank God I don't have to drink that much. Growing up with FD is not an easy task. I had to have like personal help, like nursing, that would help be in charge of my medication, food, fluids, and actually I see one in the audience right here, and Anne Marie, I'd like to say thank you for everything. You're a big help, and thanks a lot. Yeah, so she'll be in charge of fluids, medicine, food bolsters, etc. So, yeah. Oops. Sorry. School was a hard test for me also, because the other kids would stare at me and give me like dirty looks of what I would be getting, like the fluids and stuff. They would ask me, hey Mitch, what's going on? I'm like, what do you mean what's going on? I'm just getting fluids. It's just a normal thing. So, yeah, and the kids would still be nice to me, because that was the greatest feeling in the world, to have friends who care for me and grow and help stay behind you. And thank God I have great friends such as these guys here, Marissa, Gabe, Jordan, and other people here actually.
Jordan's a brother.
Yeah, I have the greatest friends. Yeah. Without them, I don't know where I would be. And for school, I had an education which is different. I had an IEP, which modifications include longer times on tests, modified tests, second teachers in room, etc. That would help me. And thank God I had great teachers at my high school and all throughout my education who understood my needs and were great. And actually, I'm not able to keep up with the other kids. Like in gym class when I was younger, I would have to take more breaks than the average person. And if you know me, I'm a big sports guy. I like to play basketball in the gym, go work out. So when there's an actual game going on, I would like to play, but I can't because my blood pressure would go anywhere, and my legs are actually get tired, so I'll have to get more breaks. And honestly, I try to push it, but maybe I try a little too hard at times. Now, when I was 12 years old, Make-A-Wish was the biggest part of my life. And if you don't know who that guy is, he's actually my hero. And if you guys know, I'm a huge WWE fan. So that's John Cena. We met him in New York City, in Madison Square Garden. Make-A-Wish sent us a limo, took us there, and we actually got to go backstage, meet all the other guys, including Vince McMahon, the COO, or the guy who runs WWE. So he actually showed me how to live more and give me that strive to do anything that I want and put my mind to. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for giving me that opportunity, even though we got to go shopping next day, and you guys love that as well. Who doesn't like shopping in New York City? Yeah, I'm a huge fan of John Cena. Who can ever ask? People ask me, how'd you meet him? Can I get a ticket? Or can you hook me up? I'm like, I got connections. Sorry.
I got connections.
So for right now, I'm actually not in school because school got a little too hard for me in some other areas. So what I do to keep time, I volunteer at the Jewish Community Center in KC City for the after-school program, just for kids. I love that because the kids respect me. One kid called me his role model. That touched my heart to see them grow. Thanks. Yeah, so these kids will always come up to me and be like, Mitch, what are you scheduled for today? Are you with me? Am I with you? I would tell them, they'll be like, yay, if I'm with you. Or, yeah. It's a great program. The staff respects me, the kids respect me. I love it. It's great. Even though it's... And now, Fantastic Friends is a great organization. I love it. And actually, like Gabe, Marissa striped for me and told me about it. I was like, yeah, I'm in, I'll do it. I mean, it's a great thing. And Matt, you're a great guy. Keep up doing what you do. You're great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So, now there's a couple, growing up with FD taught me that, everyone's different in a certain way, and I'm proud for who I am, but FD is not all me. Like what Gabe Tyler said, my name is Mitch. It's not familiar, that's all I know yet. It's not a label. It's just a small part of me that doesn't really bother me as much as a lot of people thought it would. So, yeah, and for the future, I don't know what I want to do yet, but when I find out, I know it's going to keep me happy and keep on striving for success. And there's actually a couple more people that I would like to thank. Samantha, Mom, Dad, thank you for everything. Even though we pick each other at times and get mad, but you guys are there for me. I love you. All right. And that's it.
Great job, Mitch. That was amazing. Another amazing speaker and fantastic friends volunteer. All right, so
She's
next
over
we
there
have our
and she's
final
right there.
speaker before we do our group discussion. Her name is Mary Kate, who met her this year. She is a Stockton student as well, and she also is she's the author of If No One Was Different, which is a book for people who have special needs and to educate people about inclusion. So everybody give Mary Kate a big warm welcome.
Okay, class. Yeah, Mary Kate!
Okay, so as Marissa said, I'm Mary Kate. I'm actually both the author and illustrator of If No One Was Different. It was published during a scholarship competition. It was by B'nai B'rith. It was for graduating high school seniors who wanted to write a book about diversity for children. So if someone had come to me when I was in elementary or middle school and asked me if I ever thought I would be able to go to a university, I would have laughed in their face. At that age, going to a college or a university was the farthest from my mind. I wanted to be done with school at the earliest possible time. I can remember sitting in my second grade classroom with a trash can next to my desk because my anxiety would overcome me to the point of nausea. At that time, I had no clue what was wrong, and neither did anyone else. They claimed that I was just defiant, and that led to a diagnosis of oppositional defiant disorder. It was not until I was entering middle school that they finally settled on a diagnosis. I have a mixture of psychiatric disorders, obsessive-compulsive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and Asperger's syndrome, as well as a neurological disorder called Tourette syndrome. Each of these disorders have affected me since early childhood. I felt helpless as a child because I was so confused about what was going on in my own brain. But now, as an adult, I understand how to accept my disabilities and in turn, accept myself. I chose to go to college so I would be able to make a fresh start. School had always been a source of severe anxiety for me. But I was not willing to give up when I knew that I may be able to further my education and use it to help children who are reminiscent of myself. This is the reason I have chosen to become a psychology major and hope to become an art therapist so I can combine two things that I love to do. With a fresh start come many new and difficult challenges. For the first time in my life, I'm living away from home. My parents had always been the ones to keep me on track with schoolwork, make sure I took care of myself, and help me manage my time, and make sure that I had appropriate behavior for my age. But the transition to college and living on my own caused me to become disorganized and revert back to a state of inappropriate social behavior. And by that, it basically means that I forgot how to make eye contact with people. I forgot how to introduce myself properly. I didn't really introduce myself to anyone. I kind of stayed in my room for the whole first semester here. I knew this was likely to happen, so I requested information from my psychologist about the disability services provided by the school. She recommended me for the Skills for Success program before I had even set foot on campus. The Skills for Success program has helped me tremendously. I was paired with 2 graduate-level occupational therapy majors who have acted as my mentors and helped guide me through my transition from high school to college. They helped me set goals for both my academic and social life here on campus. The overwhelming support that I have experienced through this program is amazing. Unlike some of the other programs that I tried when I was in high school, the Skills for Success program has helped me grow. Because unlike those other programs, the mentors are not only there to help me meet my set goals, but they also take the time to get to know me as a person and to help me better understand and to help guide me in the right direction. The Skills for Success program is an amazing experience, especially if you had at one point hated to ask for help or support because you felt like it was impersonal. Because of the care and support I've received, I've been able to gain experiences that I never thought I would be able to do, like going to the movies with a small group of people, managing my time efficiently, and even being here today. Even though I may still have some struggles both academically and socially, I can now turn to my mentors in the class for the support that I need. My mentors set up my schedule, sort of. They help me they helped me plan when I should start to study for tests or quizzes. But then they also helped me with the social aspect. So they've helped me join clubs on campus, like the art club or like Fantastic Friends. And then they let me, I have a stress relief goal. So basically all I do is draw in that class once a week. So it's fun. So I've always felt like I was treated differently, but it's okay, because if no one was different, the world would be a boring place. We are all different, and we're all able, but some of us are just differently able.
Thank you to all of our speakers. Wow, Mary Kate, that is incredible. And you drew all of this stuff yourself, right? Wow, give that. Wow, that is amazing. That is so inspiring.
This is my copy. I hate to put it.
All right, so I have a few things I would like to talk about from personal experience and working with some of our speakers. Can someone actually come up and do the slides?
I'll come up.
Okay.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right, take the camera.
I've seen with, people that come, some of our members, people that I've seen grow up with special needs, I see how all of their stories, they have commonalities. We all have things that we share. So,
It's not this, right? Okay.
no. All right, so commonalities amongst all our speakers. Did you all notice a trend? So do you guys have the microphone? Wait, do you guys have the microphone?
Not yet.
Okay, we want to hear from you. What did you guys notice between all of our speaker stories? What is something that you noticed that every speaker either went through or came up with or felt a certain way? What is a commonality? Do you have the mic? Do you want to use? Okay, Sarah's going to come around with the microphone. We want to hear from you guys. What did everybody have in common? What is something that? Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I think the universal message that I got from that presentation was that everyone at the end of the day really just wants to be accepted. No matter who you are, no matter what disability you have, if you have any disability at all, everyone wants to feel included, loved, and accepted at the end of the day. Everyone wants to feel safe, and by safe I mean feel like they live in an environment where people will not attack them, where people will come to them with a loving and kind heart.
All right, thank you, Lauren. That was great. All right, anybody else? What did you guys notice?
I noticed that there was a universal trend that the speakers started with always a rough start, but with time and patience and help from family and friends and even nurses and school directors, that they had a better life later on. Like, it got better for them. Like, they all shared their stories, that they had help from Fantastic Friends or other fabulous groups in the community. And I'd just like to say that I think all your stories are really amazing. I'm glad you all have a better life than it once was.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, yes. Go ahead.
One thing that I noticed is where, that it's great to be different. That it's to celebrate the difference that we have amongst ourselves, and that none of these individuals and none of us, that we should really use them as a guide. None of them let any limitation or society stop them from becoming successful in their own lives.
Right, and that's a great point too as well. And that's something that we try to do at our events. We try to set that tone that, you know what, you can come to our events and be who you are, be whoever you want, because honestly, we're all different. I'm different, I don't have special needs, but I probably have a million things about myself that are extremely crazy. I'm sure everybody knows that I'm insane. But everybody has something that's different about them, and that's what's great about Fantastic Friends. You can come and just be yourself. There's no limits, there's nothing that's holding you back. You can be the true self that you are, and everybody will love you. And that's what we try to emphasize, that we all love each other, and that's what makes it so special. So anybody else? Did anybody else notice a trend or any other things that are important? Yes.
What I noticed is that all these people who are in the picture, maybe they went through all the same kind of trouble that the guest speakers have went through as well.
Yeah.
Like in the past, they must have like they were at school, they were probably teased at, bullied at because they had these certain disabilities. And so then they all can sympathize with each other, like, oh hey, you've been through that kind of situation. So why not let's resolve this? And the bigger the crowd, the more you can stand up against other people, though, because when you're all alone, though, you feel inferior. But when you're together, like maybe so I'm with a lot of people, though, then I feel comfortable. I feel supporting. I feel like there's nothing that can happen to me. I feel like things don't go wrong anymore.
Right, definitely. That's great. And we're all in this together. We're all fighting the same thing. Even if you don't have special needs, everybody has gone through something that has been traumatic or something, and it's human nature. Okay, if you could hit the next slide. Alright, so one commonality is isolation. Why does isolation occur? Well, it occurs because there is a lack of education. As I was growing up, I've seen, firsthand on like how people with special needs have been bullied and, teachers have been mean. There's no program that's instilled in a classroom or a health program that teaches neurotypical peers how to understand their special needs peers and how to be comfortable. So isolation occurs because people who are around our special needs community, they have two ways of reacting. They have the fight, or, well, not reacting, but it's human nature to go into fight or flight mode. And what that basically means is if you're next to someone that has special needs, say they're, stimming or repeating themselves, or they're epilay, just something that is not what you're used to in your bubble, it's a threat. Humans take things that they don't know as a threat. So what happens? We go into fight or flight mode. So sometimes people choose to ignore people with special needs and walk away and not know what to do. Other times people can get very defensive and they can get angry, or they can say something that's mean, and they can go bully. It's because they don't know. It's because they're uneducated. And as our generation is growing up, I feel that we are becoming a more accepting generation. I mean, do you all agree? I feel that since I've gone on to college and I'm seeing how our younger generation is with people with special needs, I feel like it's getting a lot better, and people are becoming a lot more accepting. So I feel like it is getting better, but for now, it's still happening. People still go into this fight or flight mode, and we have to figure out a way to educate people on how to become comfortable with this type of behavior that, is going to surround us, because, the rate of all of our disabilities, it's going up, and it's going to continue to go up. So we need to educate people on how to become comfortable with this population and how to become more accepting of them. So that's one main commonality between all of our speakers and their stories. Right, we can hit the next one. Another thing is misunderstanding. People with special needs often feel very misunderstood. Sometimes parents, teachers, therapists, they try to mold your child into something that they're not. And sometimes, our therapists, our people, they can make decisions for you, and that's not what we want to do. So, what we're trying to encourage is to listen to that person who is directly affected by special needs. Listen to them, and we understand that your child may be nonverbal. You might be working with people who have limited communication, but it's still trying to figure out a way to really hear them and listen to them, because ultimately they're the ones that are being directly affected. And as loving and as much as we might have motherly instincts or sisterly instincts, it's really best to listen to the person who is directly affected. And take time to listen. It might take your child or the population you work with, it might take them an extra 2 minutes, but listen to them, because they're the ones that ultimately know what's best for them. Labeling is a big one. Sometimes when we go out into the community, we'll say, oh, he's autistic, he's this, he's that. Labeling is something that we have to eliminate, because it's very discriminatory, and it really makes the person feel, degraded. Like how all of our speakers said, you're not your disability, you're your name. So when you hear someone say, he's autistic, he's this, he's that. There's actually a proper way of saying if someone has a condition. Instead of saying, for example, he's autistic, you can say he has autism. You're not using that label, this discriminatory label. And that's what we're trying to, yeah.
Sorry, this is just something that I thought of when she was bringing up the labeling, and it's something that I've become so strongly against, is also getting rid of the use of the R word, I refer to it, or the word retarded, in mostly a negative connotation. It is something that I hear from peers all the time, and it makes me so frustrated. And they'll just sit there going, oh, this dude's retarded. Really? You can't say stupid, you can't say idiotic, you can't say he's not thinking right. You have to use that word? What I learned is that when you use the word retarded, it's basically saying like it's putting a label on the special needs community, and it's saying that they're lesser. Because you're using it as an insult. You're saying that they're lesser than you. So you're saying that the special needs community is lesser than you, and it's putting a label to them as well. And it's something that's just frustrated me so much. So I think that's also something that we have to change and completely get rid of, in my opinion, is the use of the R word.
So there is that specific way of addressing if somebody has a disability. Okay. All right, another commonality is molding, both all socially, emotionally, and occupationally. Socially, so I want to know, how many people in here are parents? Are there a lot of parents here? Yeah? Okay, how many times have you said to your child, go be friends with this person, go be friends with that person, and your child has refused? Has anybody done that? Yeah, a lot of us have. So that's, another thing that we need to watch for, is that forcing your child to make friends. Yes, it is so extremely important. Don't get me wrong. I know, okay? I push for all of my members to make friends and everything, but you cannot force somebody to make friends. If your child does not want to be friends with someone, you know what? That is their decision. It's not your decision. Your child has a reason to not be friends with somebody. Whether it's, they have been maybe bullied by this person, or maybe it's just they don't get like a good vibe. Just go with what your child says, and there's plenty of other people your child can be friends with. But that's one thing. Don't try to socially mold your child. Definitely get your child out into the environment. Definitely encourage social interaction and, becoming friendly with peers, but do not become forceful about it, because becoming forceful will not only frustrate your child, it will frustrate everybody else in your family. So that's one thing. Another thing is emotional molding. This probably hasn't been brought up at all, but emotional molding, if your child is very emotional, okay, sometimes parents will say, I've seen this a lot with parents and fantastic friends, sometimes they'll say, oh, don't act this way, don't do this, don't do that, you can't feel that way. That's actually exactly the opposite of what your child needs. It's one thing to teach your child ways to cope with what they have, but you should never shame your child into telling them what they're feeling is wrong, because that's not the case at all. If your child has something that's bothering them, you have to become accepting of it. You have to go with it, and you can teach them coping mechanisms. You can teach them ways to channel their emotions. But by shaming and trying to force your child to feel a certain way, that's not going to help them at all. And I've seen that firsthand. It's really not going to help your child. So try to, when you're trying to help them with their emotions in any type of emotional situation, try to encourage them to have coping mechanisms and ways they can channel their emotions, but do not ever shame them for feeling a certain way, because like everybody else, we all go through emotional things, and what's emotional to you may be not emotional to someone else. So, and it doesn't matter what the case is. Like if someone's emotional over food or something, that's their button. Everybody has buttons. So try to, encourage them to cope, but not force them to feel like a certain way. Another molding is for your job or your occupation. I know my family's actually going through this now. It's molding occupationally. So how many people here have gone through the transition phase? Are people here going through that high school to college, job training? Is anybody going through that? Matthew, of course. Anybody else? Right, and a lot of people have been through this. So one thing that Fantastic Friends is trying to teach parents and therapists is that you really need to listen to your child. You may know best you may think you know best for your child and where they belong, but listen to what your child wants. Even if you feel that your child would succeed more in a certain place, listen to them, because they're the ones that are living their life, not you. It's your child. And we understand that there's it's frustrating. There's different things that are frustrating that go along into this transition period, and it might be difficult for you to transition your child into a career program or to college. But listen to them. Listen to them. Let them have a voice. Even if it doesn't work out, let them speak for themselves, because you can't force a child to do what you want to do. Just like nobody can force me into doing something that I don't want to do, nobody can force your child into what they want to do. All right, next. All right, so where do we go from here? Tell us, what can Fantastic Friends do to make our community more inclusive and more understanding? Whether it's creating an education program where we go into schools and we run a workshop, or we develop some type of education program where we can teach the kids some other way. Let us know what we can do. I mean, does anybody have any ideas of what Fantastic Friends can do to educate our peers? Because I really think it's our peers and our professionals. It's our peers and our professionals. It's really the whole community, but it's our peers and professionals that are really the ones that are setting the standard. So who has any ideas of what we can maybe do to go into schools or implement some type of program? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
As you're a Stockton student, I'm a Stockton student, a little older than you. One of the speakers talked about a need for a safe place for them to be able, a quiet place to go reset.
Right.
Do you know of any place here at Stockton that has that? Is there a quiet place here for that? And also, what do we need to do to get that into other school systems?
Right. So to answer your first question, Stockton has a meditation room.